Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a new episode of Kween Talk. Today, we are talking about age gaps in relationships, significant age gaps in relationships. So, this week is Mashawn's topic. So, Mashawn, take it from here. Tell us all about what we need to know about age gaps and all. So,
Basically, we're just going to discuss different age gaps in dating. What's it like to date somebody who's probably 10, 15, or maybe sometimes even 20 years older than you. And right now, I have one of my good friends, Floyd, who's going to discuss his experience with dating somebody that's in his age gap. Now, Floyd, I want you to tell us,
hey, Mr.
how was it?
Floyd.
What was what was it like dating somebody, who was a lot older? Is it the same thing as dating somebody who's around the same age as you? I want, give us the whole shebang on how they went. First of all, you can introduce yourself to everybody.
Okay, I'm Floyd. I am from a small town called Rain, near Lafayette, but I live here in Baton Rouge. Um, Basically, the guy that I was dating, well, another thing, I've never dated anyone my age or younger than me. I've always dated people that were older than me. Um, I just, I just seem to attract more older people, and that's just what I like. But the guy who was significantly older than me, and it's usually always been like 3 years, 4 years, but this guy was actually 30 years older than me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
for the record,
Explain
how
that.
old are you, if you don't mind?
I'm 34.
Okay.
Okay, wait.
I mean,
Wait. So
hey,
how did y'all even meet? That's the
We actually met on an app years ago. And he actually pursued me, but I found out that he was in a relationship. And I was just like, no, I'm not really trying to get involved in that. That's messy. Nothing. Well, maybe like 4 or 5 months later, he like tried to talk to me again, and I was just like, okay, cool, let's go to lunch, like whatever. So we pretty much ended up going to lunch, and then it kind of just took off from there. I think the hardest part for me was um, really trying to get my family to understand why I was dating someone so much older than me. But it was nice. It was a good relationship. He taught me a lot about myself. He taught me how to love. He taught me what I should accept, what I shouldn't accept in a relationship. Um, yeah, it was it was good. But you know, the big problem was he was going through a breakup as well. He was going through a breakup at the time, so I was kind of like the rebound, and so that's pretty much what happened. And I started seeing someone else who I'm still currently with, who is only 3 years older than me. But yeah,
so at the time. So how long ago was it? How old were you at the time when you met him?
I met him. I was 28.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 28. We were together for a good two 2.5 years. We pretty much stopped talking like literally when I turned 30. Because I was seeing the person I'm seeing now, we were getting serious. And so I was just like, okay, I need to put my focus on this person. And yeah. But literally the reason why basically I went to his birthday party.
Okay.
And I mean I knew his kids, his grandkids, everything. His daughter and I are still close. We still talk from time to time when we see each other out and about. But yeah, I mean, it was like any other relationship. The only difference is, I mean, we didn't do like the whole going out to clubs and stuff like that. It was like dinner and trips. Like that was our things. We ate at pretty much every restaurant there was in Baton Rouge. If
Mhm.
it opened. Um, but yeah, I mean, but he, if I wanted to go out to the clubs with my friends, he was just like, "Go have fun. Here's some money."
So now you're saying that he had kids. How many kids did he have?
3.
And what were their age groups? How old were they?
They were all older than me. The youngest, his daughter, her and I were, I think, a year, maybe 2 years apart. But her and I were age. But the other ones were much older than me. Like,
Now, did you feel like you didn't feel weird or anything about it that that his daughter was around the same age as you? Like,
at first I did, but they were so just like open and accepting and loving. Like it was just like her and I actually met at the Zulu Ball for the first time.
okay.
And we literally I literally walked up to the ball and she was like, Floyd, it's so nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you. And it was just like an instant friendship. And then that was the night, that was the Zulu Ball that Fantasia came and Juvenile came. And Fantasia was like super late. And so Juvenile was playing and I was literally
Not
dancing on
super late.
Yeah. I and she literally came running across, like she came running across the room and she was just like, I want to be right here with you. And like, that was just like our friendship. It just started and it just blossomed from there. Now, once our birthdays were like really close to each other too. So.
And so y'all still are friends to this day? Like y'all still
Yeah,
talk?
well, he actually passed away maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. And so her and I would see each other from time to time. And it's so weird a lot of times that we would see each other, like that a memory of something would happen. And then we would just like randomly run into each other. And it was like, we had a moment like this was supposed to happen. But yeah, her and I are still in contact. We're still close. I mean, we're not as much in contact anymore because of COVID, but yeah.
Right. So do you feel like, since you guys had this, since you feel like, I don't know, I'm trying to word this question right. So you feel like now since you've gotten the experience of dating somebody older, do you think you probably, would it still go that same way if you were dating somebody around your same age at that time? Do you think it would have went that same way?
Probably so. I mean, like I said, the guy that I'm with, my partner now, he's only 3 years older than me.
Okay.
And I think it's going good. We're still together.
So was he the only older guy that you really ever dated, or was there other people that you kind of were? Oh, so there's more.
Oh, in my past?
Yeah, like in your past.
Yeah. Let's see. When I was I came out real early in high school. Well, really, I came out the womb. But in high school,
didn't we all?
I think everybody went in high school.
Didn't we all?
In high school,
flaming queen.
I think two different guys, not at the same time, but within my high school frame, and both of them were in college. Well, one of them had graduated from college, actually, and I was like a junior in high school or something like that. But, yeah, I've never in my life been in.
I'm sorry.
I didn't.
I mean, yeah.
My friends were older, so that's just how it fell. Yeah.
So I ain't gonna lie. When I was like in college, like I tend to have like want to talk to older men. I love talking to older men. I don't know what it is. Like I actually am kind of sort of still talking to somebody who is he's about 25 years older than me. So baby, look, we gonna get into that later.
Wait, that's a conversation we haven't had.
Well, because I ain't told nobody, because I'm trying to see where it's gonna go. And
you gonna tell the show before you tell us personally?
Well, I'm telling the show because it's the topic.
Okay.
This is the way we're getting it out, bitch. Okay, this is the way we're getting it out. Surprise, bitch! Here it is. But he actually lives in Florida, and he wants to get me out there to go out there to see him. But I'm still kind of leery because even though we've been
go friend go.
Do we?
We've been talking for like.
We got a timeshare because we be needing that
now,
house.
how old is this man?
Okay,
We gon'
precious.
we gonna get to that age later, but
Oh, okay.
He said 25 years older than him, so he about in his
Do the
late.
math. Do the math.
Do the math. You gotta do the math. We know how much Sean is, so look.
look, do the math,
Okay.
baby.
I
But
have a question for Floyd. Okay, so the biggest one of the big things that people like to say is, especially when it's an age gap that big, is what do you have in common? What are some of the things that you found that you actually had in common with him? Because one of the biggest things that people would say is, oh, with the age gap like that, you have nothing in common. But I guess the physical aspect of what a relationship can give. What did you find that you had in common with that person?
We liked a lot of the same stuff as far as like music and I hate going to the movies. He hated going to the movies.
Okay.
Loved food.
Movie trip.
He was really big on like entertaining and like having fun with like friends and family, and those are things that are like super important to me. And
Okay.
so that was a lot of the stuff that we kind of really bonded on and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, what were some of the disadvantages? Because from my experience, it I was told when I dated somebody significantly older than me that I lived enough for the both of you, for the both of us. So, like you said, both of y'all hated going out, but where's that? Like, did the discussion ever come up
No,
to where?
I didn't.
Well,
I
going to
love.
the movies, yeah. Both of you hated going to the movies. I'm sorry. So, has it ever been to a point where you ever thought, oh, we can't do this because he's too old, or he may not keep up, or was he like, what were just some of the disadvantages in
I
a?
think that the biggest disadvantage for me was more so I don't want to use well, I don't I'm gonna say cosmetic, but I don't want to really use the word cosmetic because it was more like the outward stuff and not the inward stuff. And I
Mhm.
just felt like people were going. I was worried about what people's thought process was when they saw this 28-year-old with this 58-year-old. It's like
Mhm.
Right.
it was like, what do y'all have in common? And so like he's older than my mom and my dad. So it's like, if
Baby,
I
that
was
ain't nothing but financial security. Okay.
if I
Shut up.
I'm sorry. I'm
oh
sorry.
my
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But go
was
on.
home, like I was really, really scared of like what my mom would say
Right.
or like, what she would approve of it. Because like she met him once, but she didn't know who he was. She just met him like he picked up some paperwork for me that my mom, you know how your mom likes to keep your birth certificate?
Right.
Um,
Mhm.
he
Mhm.
picking up my birth certificate from my mom to bring to me here in Baton Rouge. And like they had like this full on conversation. And so she calls me, she was like, oh yeah, your friend picked up your birth certificate. She was like, how you know him? And I was like, oh, he's like a mentor. She was like, yeah, he's older. She's like, he's single. I was like, I don't know, girl. Like,
Yeah.
Was Mama trying to get on?
Trying to get on,
I was trying to get on, baby.
Trying to get
All
on.
right, Mama said she wanted that man for herself. I'm just messing. Okay, Mama gotta have a life too.
it was kind of like, but it's, I mean, I think the biggest disadvantage was he worked a lot, like a lot. And so it was just like really finding that time to like spend time together. So like a lot of times it was like we would go to lunch together. And then like I worked a lot. And then at the time, my job, I traveled every weekend. So I mean the good thing is he would come on some of the trips with me. But I mean there was no real disadvantage except the fact that I was insecure with the age gap at first. I mean, I'm in a relationship now, but looking back, I think I would have done a lot of things differently and just
So
been like,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
oh no,
So
like just
did
get everything.
how long did it take you to adjust to the fact that okay, he's an older dude,
I never,
cool with it?
I never adjusted to it as far as like in public, and that was like the biggest downfall. Excuse me. Yeah, that was the biggest downfall. Like in my heart and everything else, was all good. Like, you know, even like the meeting the kids and the grandkids, that was like weird to me because at the time, they were young, and he has all boys and one girl for grandkids. And I never met the girl, I only met the boys. But I think at the time the boys had to be like 10 or 11. So they were like, they knew what was going on. They weren't oblivious to the situation. And that for me, like, really had to like grow on me because like I met the grandkids, like the first time I met them, we were all at dinner together. And I mean, they literally interviewed me. Like, we're talking right now. They were like, how you know my papa? How you know this?
Look, baby, look.
Like, it was like,
I'm telling you, that's what they gonna do.
So I was stressed out about the meeting because I had just left the gym and worked out, and I had to finish the session. And so I literally like ran home, took a shower, and threw on like some clothes. And I was just like, Lord, I hope my shirt's not wrinkled. And they literally asked me every question under the sun. But it was, even after he and I stopped dating, I saw them a while back before quarantine and stuff. And they knew exactly who I was. And they were like, oh, that's Papa's friend. And I was just like, yeah. And then they were like, when the last time you talked to our Papa? I was like,
Oh.
Hi.
So, boy, like while talking or dating to him, did you ever introduce him to your friends? And if so, did you feel like some of your friends like kind of judged you when you were?
my friends loved him. Like they, I don't know if you've ever seen now, but I'm always with these two girls, this girl named Malika and this girl named Rokia. Like, they adored him. They loved him. They never had an issue with him. Like, and I mean, I did give them like a warning, like, hey guys, he's older. And they was like, well, you've always dated older guys. I was like, no.
He's older.
He's older. Like, fine, blah, blah, blah. And literally, I feel like I don't remember when Rokia, I don't really remember when either one of them met him, but like I said, my job, we traveled a lot, and one of them, they wanted us to drive. And he ended up coming. And so she just got in the car with us, and the three of us drove down to Florida together. And it was just like, he like wined and dined us the entire weekend. Like, I remember sitting, we were judging cheerleading basically on the beach in April. And for some reason, it was like 40 degrees on the beach. And I remember just sitting up there like shivering. And he left, and I'm looking for him. So he comes back with like 3 electric blankets for us just because we were like that cold. But like, that was just like the type of stuff that he could do. So they loved, my friends never once said anything about his age. A lot of them were like, I can't believe you broke up with him. And I was like, yeah, girl.
Just to go back, you did mention earlier that I think you had a little bit of blowback from family. Was it from his family or was it from your family?
Well, my
was
family,
it both?
My family never met him.
Okay.
And his family at all. Like, they were just like, I met his youngest daughter first, and then for his birthday, I met his older daughter and his son. And I remember walking into the party, and I was just like, Lord, why am I here? And, you know, I was giving you, you know, secret boo dressed in all black skinny jeans, real like low key, don't know this. I walk in.
Hello.
Yeah.
None of your business type outfit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, baby.
So your family, I'm sorry. So your family was never really aware of the relationship with it.
I mean,
okay.
Okay, so my family's dynamic is a little weird. I wasn't raised by my mom. I was raised by my mom's sister. So my birth mom, she knew of him and she knew how old he was, but she never met him. My birth mom was like my best friend. Okay. Like everything. And she knew of him, but she never like met him. She just knew his name and he existed, and that was it.
And she knew the nature of the relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She knew that it was a relationship, and she was just like, "If you're happy, I'm happy." But a part of me was still very insecure about it just because he's so much older. And yeah, I just didn't know. I mean, at the time, I was still in a place where I was living two lives. Like my family, they knew I was gay, duh. But it was kind of like one of those things where we don't talk about it. Like, you know, we know, we know, and that's fine. We know. And so that's just where I was. And for me, I've always just been very private with my relationships just because I feel like it ain't everybody's business. And that's just where it is. Just not everybody's business.
On period. Because
right. It's really
and
not.
you're right. Yeah.
Like,
Look,
what you gonna say?
People spend all the time want to know what's going on in your kitchen, honey, but realize they're not paying attention to what's going on. Baby, look, worry about your own kitchen, honey, because your kitchen got roaches. So worry
Especially
about what's
family
going on.
members that don't talk to you.
Look,
Like, baby, we don't talk.
Right.
We don't talk. We cousins, but we don't talk.
Like,
but I know at the same time, before you were saying how you felt insecure, because I know when I talk to older men, because like I usually, the oldest guy I've ever talked to was 62. And at the same time, I was, insecure at the same time. Like, what are my friends and family gonna think? But this thought also crossed my mind, but I don't know if it ever crossed yours or not. But I just want to ask anyway, since we're talking about it. My thought was if I ever did try to continue or pursue something and start a relationship with this person, like this person's older than me. So obviously the thought crossed my mind that, I could become a widow in a couple of years. So did you ever think that if you were to consider, let's say, marrying this person, like, did you ever think of the fact that, okay, yeah, I could become a widow in the next maybe like
yeah. So while we were dating, I had went out of town and I came back and he wasn't returning my calls. And I was like, what is going on? And so he ended up actually being rushed to the hospital while I was gone. And so he was in the hospital. And so his daughter actually called me and was like, hey, he's in the hospital, blah, blah, blah. And so I went up to the hospital to see him, and it was just like reality to see him like lay. I mean, he was fine. He was talking and moving, all that kind of stuff. But just seeing him like lay up in the bed, that was just like a lot. And then maybe like 2 or 3 months later, he ended up having to have surgery because they thought they found a tumor on his brain. And so he had to have brain surgery. And that took a really big toll on me because I really and I feel horrible for what I did, but I think that was just me being young and not really understanding what was going on. I kind of stepped back from him a little bit because I was scared of losing him. And I was like, I'm already kind of attached and I don't want to get super attached. And then I lose him. And then the guy that he was dating before me, he came back into the picture. And so it's just like, this is stressful. But
That's
then
a Lifetime movie.
right?
Movie.
They ended up breaking up. Well, not breaking up. They ended up not working it out and whatever. But there were instances where that guy and I were together in the same room, sitting. 60th. Let me tell y'all, 60th birthday party. It was how people love to do they tables, and it was literally him in the middle. It was the other guy on the right side, me on the left side, and then his kids. And I was just like, I am not sitting up here. This is not gonna do it. But yeah.
Okay. So let's get to it.
Okay.
Have y'all ever had sexual intercourse? And if so, what was it like?
This
He stole that
yeah.
I was just waiting for it.
I was so
But it was obvious. I mean, it's
well, Precious, you go ahead and ask the question. I'm sorry.
So that's literally what I wanted to ask. I didn't want to be too.
I know. Look, I was thinking the same thing.
But I just want to know.
We got an hour, okay?
I just want to know what the tea was like.
I'm gonna be surprised if you say you did. So go ahead.
I just want to know because y'all were together for that long,
right?
Amazing. Don't.
Did you say yes?
You said amazing, bitch.
It was
okay.
You said amazing.
They cut off. It was amazing.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't
was
just
amazing.
good. It wasn't
It
just
better
weight,
be.
it was a
Right.
weight.
Experience.
Man, like I'm a psycho girl. Dick was good.
The dick was good.
Dick was good.
Oh my god.
We're sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
he was, in his 60s basically, but I mean, it was like I was with a 30-year-old. Like yeah, it was no blue pill. So
Okay.
That's
All
hard to
natural.
find.
All
I'm
natural.
telling you, that's what it is about, and that's kind of like the reason why I'm drawn to older men because
The drink
they
on
have
that.
the experience, like they have the experience to do things. So that's just me personally. As I was talking to older men, I mean, I have done things with older men. I mean, I'm not gonna go into detail, but like they are more experienced with certain things that
Baby.
Baby, look, I lose my virginity when I was
Anatomy,
21.
like
Okay,
You what?
wait, what happened?
What you said?
I said I lost my virginity at 21. So
Oh.
Did you?
yeah, girl.
Oh.
I told your ass that before, bitch.
Shit. I feel like a hoe.
Girl.
I came out the gate.
But Floyd, so I knew you said it was good. So how many times were you guys really like intimate? Wait, what?
it like
I just have to ask you. I just have to
On a
ask.
7-day
know what?
period.
Well, you do not have to answer that question.
You
That
don't have
is
to
I was
so.
just asking. I'm like, it's just a question. Shit.
All
I
of it,
mean, you mean like through the week?
like through the week or through the month. Like
when it was just like any relationship. When you first get together, those first few months, you're like 3-4 times a week. Like you just want to be with that person.
Lord.
And then as the relationship progressed, I mean, it went down to maybe like once a week, sometimes twice a week. Something like
My biggest fear is like, how did he die on top of me? And
Girl, look, Natty. Stop.
that is one of my biggest fears.
Yo, color purple
That
much.
is what right. Straight color purple
We did
tea.
not have to have a color purple reference in there.
I could not
I'm so
pass up
sorry.
this
I'm
moment.
so sorry.
But that is one of my, like, dating somebody older
Are you serious, huh?
and I'm very serious, like dating somebody
Oh,
older and extremely
Lord.
older, like literally half your age or more. And I worry about that because I am a sexual person in a relationship. I am. But I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay for this? Are you up for this? Because
That's what you be doing.
it's about to be shut up. It's about to be round 3. Because I'm like, are you
But she
okay?
acting like she doing acrobats in the fucking bedroom or something. Like,
But
shit.
at the same time, I do feel like that. I think it's a lot of older people, especially in the gay community. A lot of older men think that, oh, I don't have to tone down. No, I don't have to keep up. They got to tone down, and that's I think it's a misconception, but it is some kind of truth to it because it does happen when we date older people. When the younger date the older people, some of them tend to think that we gotta slow down. I'm like, look, I'm in my prime. Okay, I'm young. I'm handsome, or whatever.
I think you're underestimating these older people. Like
I
that's
don't say I'm
some of them
underestimating
though,
them,
because not all
but
of them.
it's
do that.
not. It's not all of them.
yeah,
It's some of them.
it's not that bad.
So like,
They're gonna be okay.
It's just a stereotype for some people.
Yeah.
They feel like when I guess they see a younger person with an older person, like what do you like Quickie was saying in the beginning, like what are you looking
Like you
to gain?
automatically gonna give them a heart attack,
Right,
girl.
are you looking to gain, like are you really in love with this
They
person?
are going to be okay.
Right. Like there are a lot of huge stereotypes. Like if
Yeah.
you see an older person with a younger person, they're like, are you looking to gain financial stability or do you really love this person?
and I'm
Like, there's
easily
a
like, I feel
stereotype
like
with that.
I'm easy disrespected. If we go out to eat and the waiter asks, "Okay, would your son like anything?" I'm a slap the bitch. Bitch, like, I'm like, would you like anything for your son? I am a slapper.
I gotta bow out now.
Oh yeah.
I look forward to seeing the rest of the show.
JoJo has to go because he has other priorities
Yeah.
Yeah,
and obligations.
Yeah. Since
That
we
he just
started on-
can't
since
say
we
no
started
to.
on since we started on CPT.
yeah, we did start like 30 minutes late. So
Pre-recorded. They didn't need to know all that. I was having technical difficulties. Okay.
well, you tried to call me out, so I'm trying to tell the people. That's what you get for trying to call me out.
Yeah,
I was on time.
I was not calling you out. I was giving you a professional, ethical farewell.
Girl,
Bitch, that was
No.
passive aggressive as fuck.
Girl,
I love
Oh,
y'all.
no.
Jojo ain't gonna miss Judgment Day, baby. She gonna be on time for that.
I'm gonna be on time.
Okay.
That's I am. All right. It was nice meeting you, Floyd. And bye, Miss Precious. And bye, Marshawn and Quickly. Love
Love
y'all.
you.
I
See,
love
talk to you
you.
later.
Bye.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
honey.
Okay.
So now we back at
So
the first square.
where were we? Okay, but yeah.
I
So
mean, if you dating someone like
yeah, what
you're
tips do you have
younger,
for those who are infatuated with dating older people and significantly older people, like older people?
Yeah, what
What
kind of
tips do
advice
you
would you
have for
give
them?
them?
you have to know who you are. A lot of times in relationships, when you're with an older person, they know exactly who they are. They know exactly what they want. And if you are trying to pursue someone like that, like a lot of younger people say, "Oh, I know what I want and I know what I want to do," but there's no action plan and there's no what's the word I want to use? There's no proof that it's actually happening. Like you don't see it this workplace, but with an older person, it was like you saw it, you knew what it was. Like this man, he worked the job, retired for a year, and then the company asked for him to come back, and they pretty much doubled the salary that he was paying him. Plus, he was still getting his retirement. So it was like he was very well established. Like I walked into a
I'm
situation,
here
and
for it.
I had food from and
All I
I
need is food and gas money.
Period.
That's it. That's all I ask for. Food and
also
gas money.
I
It would
will
save
say
me a
this:
lot.
if you're dating someone older, do not go into, and this is with any relationship, don't go into it, expecting a financial gain. Like
Right,
because
right. That's true.
that
That's
could
true.
make a
'Cause
really
baby,
sour.
they out
Um,
there. Them bum
they
boys
are,
out there.
and there was a bit of a gain for me in the relationship, but it wasn't something that was.
That
It
you
was
were looking for.
expected. It always just kind of
Right.
happened.
Right. Right.
Kind of
So
how it happened. In the beginning.
right. So Precious, as a female, before you marry, where were your because we do talk. This is my best friend here.
Yes, we do.
But I'm not gonna say anything because I want her to be able to tell what she's willing to tell. So prior to your marriage, to your beau, what were your experiences as a female dating an older gentleman?
Well, my experience dating an older gentleman, I guess I can say it's kind of similar because the older gentleman that I dated, I mean, he wasn't like that much older than me. He was only 8 years older than me at the time. So of course, this was when I was like in high school, middle school. Knew him in middle school. He was actually my first. So it's like, I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was like we were still both kind of still kids, I guess you could say.
Right.
So it wasn't a significant age gap to where I could say, oh, I was getting anything financially because I mean, your mama still taking care of you just like my mama taking care of me. So we were kids who were still exploring life together. And I feel as though it's like, like I said, with him, after him, there was a period before I met my husband that it seemed like even though I like an older gentleman who knows what he wants, he's established, he has goals in mind. I like that because that's the type of female I am. But for some reason, it's like all these people who are younger than me are the ones that are attracted to me.
Hmm.
So it just so happened that even with, dealing with those people who were younger than me, I'm normally the type that I'm like, okay, I'm not going to deal with you because I've already grown accustomed to the experience of this person. He's older than me. He know you be ready for 6 o'clock. Put this on. I'm gonna pick you up. We're gonna be ready to go. Like that's the lifestyle I'm used to. Not well
Right.
when you come and pick me up. Like
Oh, bitch. No.
like that was the backtrack.
I
And
remember that
so
conversation. And I would never, bitch, do not get with me.
it's like that
Do
was the
not
backtrack.
get with me and be like, hey, you go pick me up. Okay, I gotta pick you up. So you're gonna tell me what to wear and when to be ready, but I have to pick you up.
Correct. It was like y'all
No.
was
That's
tripping for a minute.
I,
I ain't gonna lie. I was tripping. I was tripping. I blame me. I
No,
was
friend.
tripping.
Don't blame you, friend. Don't blame you,
I
friend.
blame
oh
me.
Don't
no.
don't, don't blame
I
you,
say
friend.
that because I think it's because, like I say, we get with these people and you get to the point where it's like, oh, well, you let the sweet talk get you.
Get you right.
And it's like that's literally what had me in that predicament. But thank God
Yeah.
for change.
Thank the
Thank God, I met my husband, and yes, my husband is also younger than me. He's 2 years younger than me, but he's a very mature person. Like he's somebody that we can
when he
literally
wants
have
to
a
be.
that part. You
When
know,
he wants to be.
well, I'll say when it comes to intellectual conversation,
Yes.
like he literally that's somebody to say he's younger than me. He still challenges me a lot. Like whenever it's time for us
Yeah.
to sit down, we can talk. The topic could start about hamburgers, but by the time we finish, it's the USDA and getting PETA involved, and it's like
And all that.
the
Right.
conversation builds. It's
He is a
not just
very
on.
intellectual, intelligent individual, I must say,
Yes, and I'm
because
grateful for him. I
yeah.
will say that. But yeah, just to backtrack to what we were originally talking about, like my experience with that, I dealt with it, and now it's like being an adult, I'm watching my niece, and I mean, I'm not gonna say her name, but for
Right.
those who know me, you know. But my niece is in a situation where she just turned 19, and her person is in his 40s. So it's like whenever that came along for me, I'm like, now wait a hold on. This ain't sitting right with my soul because
Right.
don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna ever judge the next person, but I think when it's personally like your baby, you
Mhm.
looking at your
It's just
baby and your baby dealing with this.
it's harder to let it happen.
Right.
Right.
And it's like in my mind, I'm like, I've gotten to be okay with it now, but it's like my first thought was, okay, what do you want from her? Like
Exactly.
my first thought was, okay, but you've been married before. You know what it's like to be with a grown woman your age. So what is this child going to do for you?
And
Yeah.
with us being even how old we are, 18,
Right.
19-year-old is still child to
Yeah.
us, you
Like my
know.
niece, she's still, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying she's like the childish individual, but
Right.
she's been through some things in her life.
Right.
And it's like with the things that she's been through, my first thought was, okay, why is this man trying to prey on my niece? It's
Well,
like,
the whole and not saying that, not really even trying to connect this to her, but
mhm,
if you're if you're on social media, there's this. I ain't gonna say it's new, but it's like a reoccurring wave of having a sugar mama or sugar daddy thing going on. It's a
mhm,
lot of teenagers. It's a lot of teenagers that's looking for older people, and I
right,
mean older people like the same age as their parents for financial reasons.
mhm,
And people are okay with being now. However, you get your gain, that's how you get your gain. I mean, if it's not really hurting anybody, in my opinion, I'm okay with it. But at the same time, you have to be careful as well, because what I was the way I was raised, like even as a boy, my mama taught me and my sister never let somebody give you everything.
mhm,
You never let somebody give you everything, because what one can give you, they could take back. So you're
yeah,
comfortable in this house, you're comfortable in this car, but if that person gets tired of you, because at some point you do got to get older, you know,
you have,
you
yeah,
get older and life happens to everybody. I don't care how young you think you are. I don't care what position you think you're in. Life happens to everybody. Okay, you were 19 once before. Now you're about to hit 25 and life is hitting you. You started gaining a little weight and everything, and you started to lose. I ain't gonna say lose attractiveness, but you started to lose confidence, which can lead to losing attractiveness. Because if you feel ugly, you're gonna kind of look ugly or whatever, if that makes sense. So that person will get tired of you. That person will get tired of you and get somebody else or whatever,
mhm,
because you're not the first and you're not the last. You was current. Me, if I was ever in that, if I was in that position, I'm stacking my money. Okay, I
Right.
would buy me a nice little car
about to invest.
and invest. I'm stacking my money. If I'm going to be somebody's sugar baby, what did you do with your money? Oh, I'll put it in my savings account.
Back your stuff, honey, because I used to actually work with somebody who, I mean, I'm not gonna say he dated somebody older. He actually dated somebody 2 years younger than him, And this was actually kind of odd to me, but the guy who was younger than him, he was pretty much spoiling him. And at the same time, when he got paid, he was putting his money, his checking account into a, into a savings account, building it up. So if something, which it came to that day where they did break
Mhm.
up, he had money saved up. He was able to do what he needed to do,
Mhm.
and,
Right.
and move on. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like even as a lot of these sugar babies, which I feel like now a lot of the younger generation, this newer generation coming in, they're really getting more comfortable with that. Which I mean, that's all fine and dandy. Whatever floats your boat, sis. Do what you gotta do, but at the same time, no, be smart while doing it.
Mhm. Floyd, you had a question?
No, I was just agreeing with
Oh,
like
okay.
putting stuff to the side and like what's your investment on the situation. Yeah, he was very supportive in my dreams and what I wanted to do with my life, and he helped me a lot to get there financially. And so, but basically, I'm telling y'all some real stuff here. I have a cheerleading gym, and I'm part owner, and he basically gave me my share of the startup to make the gym happen. So like, COVID was really hard for me because it was a situation of he we almost were about to close the gym down because we just couldn't do it, and I was just really distraught because it was like this was something that he gave to me, and I'm
Mhm.
using it. Like he bought my car, and my car was totaled, and I was just like distraught by it for like the longest. Like I had to really grieve, like really, really grieve, and it kind of put a strain on um, my current relationship, even when he passed away, because I was grieving. And I literally had to talk to my psychologist about my therapist about it, and just be like, and she was like, "No, you're fine." And when I finally talked to my partner about what was going on with me, he was very supportive, and he kind of understood what I was going through, because me and that person had been through so much together, and it was just like I lost someone. I think the thing was I had just spoken to him like the week before he passed away, and
Mm.
like a lot.
And it happens like that, you know. You see people today and they gone tomorrow, you know. And that could be anybody, you know.
Mm,
Now, as much as a drama queen I am, you know, and they could tell you like I'm not going to be the same for weeks,
mhm,
especially if I'm like infatuated with you, like seriously in depth with you. And Sean and Precious can tell you, you know, as a Capricorn, I fall hard. Like honestly, and I could think I speak for a lot of Capricorns. We don't wait long. You know, we don't wait long. But at the same time, it's kind of like I'm not going to be the first to say I love you. You
mhm,
know, but I show it. You know, and like so to which is also another fear of mine when I'm dating somebody older, you know, like you said, like it was like it crossed my mind, oh my God, is he gonna like drop dead tomorrow, today? Because you
mhm,
know, you feel like it's coming soon. And you know, like my mama always said, we're not here to stay, you know. So and it's kind of hard for me to like focus on, okay, well let me, if this is his last days, you know, only time will tell. But you know, instead of me trying to make
It's
it
some
the best,
investments.
yeah, his best last days, I'm worried about when his last day is. And then
Right.
after that comes and I'm kicking myself in the ass for just moping around and just pretty much
mhm,
waiting for you to die, you know.
mhm,
Mhm.
So like when out there looking, I do my best. Like they could tell you I really came I came a long way when it came from like characteristics one should have to even get my attention, you
mhm,
know. And that came with age, of course, you know. Like when I came out when I was like what, precious 19, 20, you know, when I came out, you know, over the years or whatever, it's like, you know, oh, my list started to shrink, and what's on it is more is what I think is what I deem more important than,
mhm,
so you know. And I kind of see like age falling off that list because I'm like, if if I really, really like you, I'm not gonna care how old you are.
about your age. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. That's
I'm
the
not.
thing. I never did look at age, even when I was like back when I first came out into the LGBTQ plus scene. I didn't care about age. I really first started talking to the first older guy that I talked to, I was 19 at the time, and he was 48 or 49. So I didn't care how old he was. I mean, when you're being young out into the scene, and the older gays, they take you under their wing and they try to, bring you up into the scene and stuff like that and try to show you
Right.
the way of the scene. I was looking for that because I didn't know what to do, coming out into the LGBTQ scene. Like, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to do. They're like, if you roll with me, I'll keep you away from all these crazy people and blah, 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 blah. If you follow me, you're going to make it in the scene. Because don't get me wrong, being a young Black gay man in the LGBTQ scene, like, you want to go out and be wild and party and
Right.
crazy. So you look for
It's
that.
easy to
Look for
get
that.
sunken in.
Right.
Like
You look for
it's
somebody, you
really
look for
easy.
like a mentor, and that's what I was looking for. Like, not more, let's say, a father figure, but a mentor. And that's why I kind of drew to older men when I was younger. I wanted somebody to help me, somebody who had experience, somebody who knew all about the scene. But like now that I'm literally in the last year of my 20 somethings, I'm about to be 30 next year. So
Ooh,
I think like now
Lord, it's
really,
creeping up.
it's creeping up,
I
baby.
got
Look,
one
I'm
more year.
getting there. Child,
I
I had
have one more year.
child, look, child, I had to check my knees this morning. I said,
Oh,
Lord have mercy.
Baby, I feel like January
thinking.
3rd, 2022. I'm gonna wake up. Oh, my back.
I said, Lord, I said, I ain't got my Megan Thee Stallion knees no more, baby. I said,
They
Lord
made
have
Griffin
mercy.
now.
Now look, but it's just
Madness.
like now that I'm older, getting older now, like as age to me now is still nothing but a number. But don't get me wrong, baby, there's still some older men out there that act more like their shoe size than the actual
You
age.
child, and I think
You
everybody
hit
could.
the nail on the head.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like, and I was just about to say that it's like that's a common misconception that I see. Just backtracking, because I'm like, a lot of people look at it and they think, oh, well, you're only looking for what you can get from this person. And
Mhm.
see, I feel like some people don't understand that, it's not that, oh, I'm looking for a dad. I'm not necessarily looking for a caretaker because I got daddy issues. But I mean, you just want to deal with somebody who's experienced what you're going through, so they
right,
can really tell you and help you along your way.
Because
right.
sometimes people in your own age group wouldn't understand what you're going through. You
They
have
would
to get
not.
somebody who's
And
been
They
through
don't
it
get
all.
it. They
and
don't.
you know, and I would say that in every age group there's a pro and a con. That there's people that make it bad, because there's a lot of older dudes that refuse to date under the age of like 25 or under the age of 30 because we're all immature. And we're all not established, which is not true. Just like it's not true that all older dudes just want to sexualize the younger generation, you
Right.
know. And so, like, I do think at some point, everybody has a limit. Everybody do have a limit. I feel like, at some point you have a limit. I'm not about to be like Anna Nicole, may she rest in peace, and but I feel like I ain't gonna lie, my girl did what
That
she
was my
had to
dog.
do.
I love her.
She did what she had to do, okay? Because
Okay.
she
She said,
did
I
what
got
she
a
had to
baby out
do.
here. I got to take care of my child. It is what it is.
Period. Period. But I honestly like it's like a the way the generation younger than us, they talk about you are proud to be a sugar baby, and that's okay. That is perfectly fine. But you can't come into like a circle like this. Like if it was the four of us out and about, and we got this little one with us, and they're talking about, oh, my sugar daddy brought me this, my sugar daddy brought me that. Honey, we don't want to hear that.
Mm-mm.
We
I
really don't want to
don't.
hear that
I really
because
don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear
Because the
that at
thing
all.
about it is, especially right now in this day and age, there's
Right.
too many opportunities out there for people our age to
Right.
really like come up. It's like nowadays you got people our age that's literally coming out of college or even just out of high school hustling and making more money than their parents have ever seen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to hear you telling me about what your sugar daddy did for you, because you can really go out there and do it yourself.
You
You
really,
can
Exactly.
you really, really can. And I think nobody really. talks to them about that. I think nobody really talks to them about that, and it's kind of like well, I'm not a parent, so but I know my sister would never raise my niece to depend on anybody
Nobody.
Mm.
and on
Yeah,
anybody.
a lot of times when he and I were together, a lot of people, that was the assumption that it was a financial thing for me. But I worked a full-time job. So like the money or the things that he was doing for me was no different than what someone would do for you in a relationship. It was just the fact that he was 30 years older than me. So people just assumed like, oh, he a sugar daddy. No, he's not a
Right.
sugar daddy.
And then at the same time, you don't have anything to prove to anybody. You
And
Mhm.
know,
I really do hate that misconception about like, oh yeah, that must be a sugar daddy. I'm like, honey, no, look, whatever. If you thinking by you going out against somebody older to be your sugar daddy, that's on you. Me,
right?
honey, I'm looking for somebody who I can look. Like I
Because
tell everybody, honey, I'm looking for marriage and mortgage, not rent relationship. Okay.
exactly, it's like if you pay my car insurance, I'm paying your car note.
Mm,
Okay, and vice versa. If you
Mhm.
paying this, I'm gonna pay that. If we're living together, if you're buying the groceries, the least I could do is cook or
Mhm.
whatever, and stuff like that. It's all about what you're willing to give to one
Mhm.
person, whether they're the same age as you or older or younger. You know, never look for somebody just out of financial security.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Because
us struggle
it's
together.
change. Like that
Right.
person's situation can change. And so what, you're gonna leave them because
Exactly. And it happens all the time.
yeah.
It
and
happens all the
but
time.
I feel like now it's you're seeing it a lot more common because at first the age gap dating was more, prominent in heterosexual relationships. Now
Hmm.
you're seeing it more open now in homosexual relationships.
Yeah.
But I feel like that I
But
I feel like you'll see the same stereotype in heterosexual relationships as you will see in homosexual relationships. But I
I
think
mean,
I think it's a lot. I think it's judged more harshly.
it is, but
Mid-
it is a part of history.
You're right.
It is like ancient history, like
This is
even
my
back in the
opinion. Though.
day.
This is my opinion. I'm not trying to say
No,
that
no,
it.
no, no. I understand that, but it's like back in the day. Okay, like okay, I'm sitting here watching Game of Thrones. I was watching Game of Thrones earlier today. These girls were okay. These girls were consented to have sex with these older dudes at the age of 12.
Right.
Mhm.
you know,
Mm.
and it's how things were back in the day. Age had nothing to do with it. Okay, by the time you get your period, you're off to marry,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was
especially
just
if
about
you're
to
a part of a
say.
royal family. And it progressed over the years and over the centuries, and then it got to us and it got to modern day times, and it's like, okay, you got to be 18, period. You have
Mhm.
18 or whatever.
Mhm.
So it's like if we were to enter a time ship and go back to like ancient times and go back to medieval times, or whatever, the people we're not going to understand it. I'm like, oh, she's
Right.
only 12, she's only 13. This is their culture. Okay,
Mhm.
so and in a lot of cultures, like okay, if the moment she starts developing, she's ready to marry.
Mhm.
Period. She had her period. She had her first period. Up, pop a baby in her. She's ready to be a mother. She's ready to become a woman. Versus today, if you're not over the age of 18 and it's not consensual,
You going to jail?
you're going
It's
to jail.
right. Statutory rape. So
It is, yes, it's statutory. So, I guess my point is that as time progress, stipulations do progress too. You know, and it is what it is. My thing is, if you're in love with that person, you're in love with that person.
I think like now, even today, like a lot of people can see it now, especially like, if somebody is in high school, it's a senior in high school dating somebody who's in college.
Hmm.
They're like, well, what you gonna do with this person? Like what I mean, like really, literally, I'm a senior in high school dating somebody in college. I mean, we're pretty much like on the same playing field, close in age. So I'll see why that wouldn't really matter. Now, if I was a senior in high school dating somebody who's like
In junior
30.
high,
in their mid 30s, then that'd be an
no,
issue.
yeah,
Mhm.
but I mean, it is what it is, and I'm not making excuses because okay, you cannot be a teacher in at a high school and you just fall in love with this senior. At least wait till after graduation.
Right.
Okay. I mean, love happens. It hits. It does. It hits or whatever. But you're like a teacher at the school I'm about to graduate from. At
Mhm.
least wait till after graduation before announcing shit or whatever, because it starts drama. Because the way laws are, it starts drama. And I know that's like an unpopular opinion, but I'm talking about like in certain situations. In certain situations, you know, it's best to be
That's
smart.
not an unpopular opinion at all because the thing about it is, especially speaking as an educator, it's like my thing is when you go into a job like that, you have to have set in your mind your ethics and your morals and values
Right.
to know that you are here to educate these children.
Right.
You are not here to find your baby mama or your baby daddy. You
Exactly.
are here to literally shape them and mold them so that they can go out into the world and be a successful individual. It's
Exactly.
like I'm sorry, and maybe that's a double standard on my part, but that really like that sickens me.
Hmm.
There's
Whenever
actually a show
like
on Hulu that's like there's pretty much the same premises. Like
Yeah, ain't
she's
they called like
I
the
just
Age
watched the
Gap Love or
movie.
some stuff like that? Is it called
No,
Age Gap?
there's a movie that just came out on Hulu recently. It's called A Teacher.
A
And it's
yes,
teacher.
like it was a
Yes.
Oh,
lady and
okay.
she was engaged in a relationship with one of her students, and then she started, going crazy when they was trying to break things off, and she started going acting crazy. But I'm
right.
like, oh, you didn't finish. I'm sorry, friend. Spoiler alert. But anyway, it's like just situations like that. It's like those type of things just make me say, I understand that love is love, but you have to understand that
The law is the law.
the law is the law,
The law
and
is
you
the
got to
law.
know when
That part.
you decide to fall in love, you got to
Right.
know what the repercussions behind
That's
it
why I
is.
say, look, at least wait till they graduate, because you hit adult status before you graduate. Majority of the
You do.
students,
Most kids
you
do.
hit
But it
adult
doesn't
status before you
matter if
graduate high school.
they're a
But
student in school, you still can't do it.
right,
Yes.
because they're still not like independent. You're not
Mhm.
independent till you graduate high school. Okay, so I'm like, look, just wait till they graduate. Wait till they get their diploma. Okay, then go with your move. Go with your move.
I'm not even gonna say that.
Whatever.
I just need you to be. Can I at least get you to? Can you just at least be 21?
And
That's my thing. And the
yeah,
only reason why I say that is because at 18, you got kids. I mean, some people you 18, some of us, yes. At 18, we grown, we going off to college, but then you got the other ones that's 18 and you still living off of mom and dad. So
exactly.
how you trying to do grown things
Things, and
and
you
you
can't take care of
ain't
yourself.
Honey, look,
you
at
not
least
able to be grown?
I've had people that were 18, 19 try to hit on me. I said, baby, you can't even buy
You
now they
still
changed
got
it.
milk on your breath.
Baby, you can't even buy me a pack of
Right.
cigarettes. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
guys.
You
So
can't buy me
we have
cigarettes.
reached.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No, it's okay. So we have reached a portion of the show, the ending of the show, where we give our final thought. So our final thought is pretty much like it's like a little advice or whatever. Your final thought of the situation. So by you being guest, you could go first, or you could pick one of us to go first.
One of y'all can go first, so I can just kind of hear and then kind of know what.
Okay. Um,
I'm
my
gonna go
son-
first.
okay,
I'm gonna go
Precious, you
first.
go first.
My final thought on the situation is like, and we just said it, if you're going to pursue a relationship with someone with a significant age gap, just make sure that you are prepared for whatever comes along with that relationship and go into it responsibly.
Hmm.
And don't go into it necessarily feeling like it's a financial gain for you. Just go into it for the love of that person. That's my final thought.
Okay. Bashan, me, you.
I mean, my final thought is, honey, like, with having experience with doing it, like, don't go in there looking for, like I said, financial gain. Just go in there. You're pretty much going there to look for pretty much me personally, your soulmate. If you're willing to grow old with this person and expect the unexpected with this person, just go for it. Like, don't be like them, these young girls, baby, trying to look for a sugar daddy or I'm a sugar baby. No, don't go with that mindset because you still a kid. If you still have
Right.
that mindset though, baby,
Right.
grow the hell up. Look, we all not getting any younger, baby. Just, do what you gotta do. Look for your man, okay?
Okay. Floyd, would you like to give it a shot, or would you like for me to go?
You can go.
Okay. All right. He said say the best for last. So what I'm saying is like, okay, be smart about it. Be smart about it. If your heart is not in it, I mean, if y'all whatever stipulations y'all set for yourselves or whatever, make sure it's something you want to do. If you
Mhm.
if you want to be a sugar baby, that's fine. Do that. Be smart about it. If you're looking for love and you're like you feel that your soulmate is older than you, make sure your heart is in it because time is clicking. Time is of the essence, whether people like it or not. So put your brain and put your heart in it and make sure that it's what you want to do and make sure that's what you want because nobody has time to be wasting.
Mm.
And Floyd.
Wow, I feel like everybody hit the mark. I would actually say know who you are when you're going into this situation, because a lot of times in an older relationship, you can get lost, or you can get with someone that's very controlling and will verbally or even physically abuse you. So all those things need to be. You need to treat this relationship just because that person's older. Don't treat them any different until you figure out like what it is you really want and what is it that they want from you, because they have to get something out of the relationship too. And like you said, you just got to be open and ready for whatever comes your way, because when dating someone older, there are some things that's going to come your way.
Yep, that's
And
true.
don't let them get on top.
Bitch, I have had it with you in this.
Don't let them get on top because
Let that man get on time.
that's
Oh,
embarrassing to tell the police. How did he die? Oh, on top of me.
look, I can't deal with her.
So stupid.
I
Better not
can't.
never tell nobody about this, but God.
I can't. He already
So
gonna. He already gonna know,
stupid.
baby.
Okay, well, you guys, this has been an awesome subject. Floyd, thank you so much for coming in and giving us your opinions and spreading ideas. And I'm sorry, sharing ideas and your experience of this topic. So,
Mm.
guys, this has been Queen Talk. I'm DeMarquise.
I'm Marshawn.
I'm precious.
Oh, I'm Floyd.
Hey,
Thank you for attending. See you guys next week, and we hope to see you in the comments.
all right.
Bye.
Bye.